Hello, this is Eastern Europe Review, a joint production of BELSAT and TVP World with reports and analysis from Ukraine, Belarus and Russia. My name is Alexandra Shapalina and these are the main stories. Incidents involving drones flying into the airspace of Belarus may seriously undermine the image that the dictator Lukashenka has created for himself.
Tonight, a violation of the state border of the Republic of Belarus in its airspace was recorded.
Ukraine's operation in the Russian Kursk region has not stopped the offensive in Donbas.
The most difficult situation remains in the Pokrovsky area. The enemy is trying to break through our troops' defense.
Two secret sons of Vladimir Putin allegedly live in isolation in presidential residences under special services protection.
One of these people agreed to talk to us. His story matched what we found from open sources.
Currently, Belarus is clearly feeling the proximity of war. Residents of some cities have been experiencing explosions at night and buildings have caught fire due to shrapnel from downed drones. Belarusian officials had remained silent until videos of terrified residents appeared online.
Kamikaze drones, which Russia uses to attack Ukraine, have been shot down over Belarus. Unmanned Shahed aerial vehicles have flown over Belarusian territory several times. However, it has taken the officials in Minsk some time before admitting this. Belarusian authorities first commented on these incidents on September the 5th.
Tonight, a violation of the state border of the Republic of Belarus in its airspace was recorded. It is presumed this was by unmanned aerial vehicles. The decision was taken to destroy them. Due to the timely actions of anti-aircraft defense forces, all the targets of the intruders were destroyed.
The Ministry of Defense official provided no information as to the origin of the Shaheds. They only noted that an inspection is being carried out regarding airspace infringements.
He didn't say that these drones are Russian. Although it's impossible to deny this fact, because there is evidence, there are testimonies.
Both this and previous violations of Belarusian airspace by kamikaze drones have been recorded by the independent project Belaruski Hayun, which monitors military activity on the territory of Belarus. According to the project, on the night of September the 5th, 8 Russian Shaheds flew into Belarus. Some of them returned to the territory of Ukraine, whilst others flew deep into Belarus. 2 drones were shot down. Residents of the city of Homel witnessed fragments of the intercepted drones falling from the sky. According to information from the Ministry of Emergency Situations, one of the downed drones fell onto a warehouse building. As a result, a fire broke out. This time, according to the Belaruski Hayun, the drones were shot down over the district of Homel and Hoyniki. This is already the second recorded case of Belarusian Air Force fighters initiating combat operations against Russian drones. Other Shahed drones also flew over the territory of Belarus at night on August the 29th and the 31st, as well as September the 3rd and the 4th. However, there was no official comment made at the time.
These drones are taken to the territory of Belarus to avoid being shot down by Ukrainian anti-aircraft forces. This is one of the ways of saving these devices. If they're near the Belarusian border, they're simply transferred there, given that Ukraine wouldn't engage in shooting something down inside Belarusian airspace. We need to save Belarus from war.
The Belarusian dictator Alexander Lukashenka used to promote himself in the country as a peacekeeper. However, in recent years, he has constantly said that the priority is to prevent war on the territory of Belarus.
This is the lowest level of the social contract, that there be no war, but an increase in the number of incidents with Shaheds, or one such large-scale incident, can dissolve this social contract.
There has been no official reaction from the Kremlin regarding Russian Shaheds flying into Belarus. In fact, the State Secretary of the Union State of Russia and Belarus, Dmitry Mezentsev, has blamed the USA. He stated that the drones had flown into Belarus as a result of a global directive from across the ocean.
The Kremlin has changed its rhetoric. For the first time, Putin has described the events in Kursk region as a terrorist attack. Prior to this, he had referred to them as merely a situation. However, the offensive in Kursk has not turned the tide of the war in Donbas. Russia has not withdrawn its troops from the most important parts of the front.
A month has passed since the Ukrainian armed forces took control of part of the Kursk region in Russia. On Thursday, speaking at the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok, Putin for the first time called the offensive in the Kursk region a terrorist attack. He said that the Ukraine's goal was to make Russia nervous and withdraw its military units from the Donbas. But this hasn't happened. On the contrary, Ukraine has made the Russian offensive easier.
And most importantly, it was a very dangerous terrorist attack. One can only imagine what will happen if we retaliate, what will happen to this whole part of Europe. And the sacred duty of the armed forces is to do everything to throw the enemy out of these territories and reliably protect our citizens.
This is a significant shift in the rhetoric of the Russian president, and it is not an accidental change. Experts believe this might signal that there is a new plan.
This seems very important to me, and here's why. He was silent for a month and then suddenly said it. Why did he say it? I think it means that he has gathered his forces and he'll now attack the Ukrainian troops that control part of the Kursk region.
But at what cost will Russian forces try to drive the Ukrainian military out of the Kursk region? The Ukrainian ground forces claim that the Russians are already bombarding the city of Sudzha, which is currently controlled by the Ukrainian military.
They're destroying their own. Despite the fact that Sudzha is in the rear, the Russians are wiping it off the face of the earth, launching guided aerial bombs and shelling it with artillery and kamikaze drones.
At the same time, according to the Institute for the Study of War, the Russian army has managed to oust the AFU from the villages of Ulanok and Koronevo. These are the first settlements in the Kursk region which the Russian army has been able to regain control of following the Ukrainian armed forces incursion in early August. At the same time, the Russian offensive in Donbas has not stopped. Rather, it has advanced over the past month. Vladimir Putin himself stated that Russia's goals are Donbas. Therefore, despite the events in the Kursk region, Russia has not withdrawn its units from the front. Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Alexander Syrsky, personally spent 5 days in the Pokrovsk area.
The most difficult situation remains in the Pokrovsky area. The enemy is trying to break through our troops' defense.
Over the past month, the Russian army has captured about a dozen Ukrainian villages around Pokrovsk. This can be seen on the combat map of the Deep State project.
There has been no serious slowdown or even a complete stop in the advance of the Russian occupiers. The quantitative superiority and a number of other advantages that they have, in particular the use of tactical aviation, a large number of guided aerial bombs which are not used, all this has contributed to the breakthrough and advance of Russian troops.
The military themselves are talking about the problems of the Ukrainian army.
For a long time, the situation in Donbas was aptly described as difficult but controlled. However, now it is out of control. Currently, it looks like our front in Donbas has collapsed. The defense of the armed forces of Ukraine is disorganized, with troops exhausted, weakened, and many units demoralized. The reinforcements we're receiving are mostly mobilized forcibly. This doesn't help. In fact, it complicates the combat operations of the units.
Meanwhile, the evacuation of the population from Pokrovsk and nearby settlements is continuing. The situation in the region is so tense that evacuation trains are being moved out of Pokrovsk itself. Both volunteers and police are transporting civilians.
Russian investigative journalists claim that they have found out the names of the children of President Vladimir Putin and ex-gymnast Alina Kabaeva. Officially, neither Putin nor Kabaeva have ever commented on their possible love affair.
It has come to light that Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Olympic artistic gymnastics champion Alina Kabaeva are the parents of two children. The eldest, Ivan, was born in 2015, his brother Vladimir in 2019. The Dossier Center, in its investigation, claims that the boys live most of the time in almost complete isolation in the state residence of Valdai in northwestern Russia, between Moscow and St. Petersburg. They are guarded by Secret Service officers and homeschooled by educators from South Africa who are forbidden to leave the territory guarded by the special services. The investigators used both open data and information from people in Putin's circle.
One of these people agreed to talk to us. His story matched what we found from open sources, and additionally, the details he gave, we were able to verify also with the help of information in the public sphere about the movement of planes, yachts, and everything else. We're confident what we found is absolutely true.
The first reports of Putin and Kabaeva's romance appeared in 2008. The newspaper that revealed the story was closed down a few days after it had published the article. The Russian head of state officially divorced his wife Ludmila in 2013. They had been married for almost 30 years.
All my activity and work is linked to public affairs. Some people like that, some people don't. And there are people who are totally incompatible with that. Lyudmila Alexandrovna has done her shift for 9 years. So in general, it's a common decision.
Vladimir Putin's personal life after his divorce is one of the Kremlin's best-kept secrets. The Russian president carefully hides all his relatives and is extremely reluctant to give any details. A few days ago, however, he made a surprise announcement about the existence of the young children.
Members of my family, the little ones, speak Chinese. They speak it fluently.
It is not clear who 70-year-old Putin was referring to, his children or grandchildren. It is common knowledge that Vladimir Putin has two daughters from his marriage, Maria and Ekaterina. Katerina headed the scientific foundation Innopractica, while Maria became an advisor to the president on the issue of genetic engineering. The activities of these structures are sponsored by the state, as well as large companies and corporations owned by Putin's friends. Gymnast Kabaeva, who was a medalist in the 2004 Olympics and several times won world and European championships, ended her athletic career in 2007. She then became a parliamentarian in the State Duma as a member of the ruling United Russia Party. The former gymnast left parliament in 2014 and was appointed head of the board of directors of the National Media Group. The holding includes several major state propaganda TV channels. The investigation about Vladimir Putin's illegitimate children, who are supported by substantial sums from the state budget, has had an explosive effect in both Russian-language media and social media outside Russia. Having young children with a dictator gives hope that he won't undermine the world after all. Or will that not stop him either? A monster?
The story is creepy, but there is an upside. With kids in tow, Putin will definitely not start a nuclear war. These children are his greatest vulnerability, his most tender spot.
These sensational details have been published and commented on by all significant opposition media. The Russian press has been silent on the subject. Neither has the Kremlin reacted in any way.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching Eastern Europe Review. We will be back next week with our new reports. I'm Alexandra Shapalina. Keep watching TVP World and see you next time.